Hello and welcome to Wisdom Trek. This is Guthrie Chamberlain and I'm your guide to wisdom. Thank you for joining us on our 7-day-a-week, 7 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 34 of our trek, and in honor of Independence Day in the United States, yesterday we started a 4-day series of episodes where we are consulting one of our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, who was known for his wisdom and practical sage advice. Today we're recording our podcast from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. It is the evening before Independence Day, so if you hear some fireworks in the background, it seems like our neighbors are enjoying themselves tonight. It was a pretty light day at work, and I was able to get out and mow the entire lawn, and just finished up right before the rain started, so I was thankful for that. With the help of my brother Jack and his son Robert, who lives next door, we were able to move most of the furniture into our newly renovated office upstairs. I just have to finish up moving in the shelving units that I use for my standing desk. On the day this podcast airs, which will be July 4th, or Independence Day in the United States, I should be able to sand the floor of our eating area, and I hope to put on a couple coats of polyurethane before we head back to North Carolina for 12 days. On our trek today, we will continue to review the 85 practical tips written by Benjamin Franklin, which are referred to as the Way of Wealth. Wealth here is not just referring to material gains, but also what truly creates a life of abundance in all areas. Yesterday we covered tips 1 through 22, so let's venture on our trail today as we review tips 23 through 45. These are nuggets of truth and wisdom, and when consumed regularly, they help us to grow, mature, and to become healthy, wealthy, and wise in all areas of life. So let's start right in. Number 23. One today is worth 2 tomorrows. That is to say, let's take advantage of what we have today and maximize it. There are no guarantees of tomorrow for any of us, as it says in Matthew 6:34, so don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. Number 24. I have somewhat to do tomorrow, do it today. That is to say, never delay what you can or should do today. Accomplish all you can today so that your tomorrows will be free for greater opportunities. Number 25. Be ashamed to catch yourself idle. We need to be aware of what we're doing. Don't waste your time in the time of others. There is time for rest, but it is not when you should be doing something productive. Number 26. Let not the sun go down and say, "Inglorious, here he lies." Which means never end the day in shame or loss of honor. If you have done something unethical during the day, fix it. Better yet, don't do those actions to begin with. Number 27. The cat in gloves catches no mice. Which means in order for a cat to catch a mouse, it needs its claws. If we're going to do a job properly, let's make sure we have the proper tools and resources in place. Number 28. Constant dropping wears away stones. Be persistent in all you do. The hardest of rocks are made smooth by the softest of water. Never give up. Number 29. By diligence and patience, the mouse ate in 2 the cable. Now that's referring to the mouse chewing through a cable, so no matter how difficult the task is or how large the project, take it a step at a time and you will complete it. As we referred to on day 30, eat the elephant 1 bite at a time. Number 30. Little strokes fell great oaks. This is another quote that is well known and one that was repeated to me many times when I was growing up. Even the largest of obstacles can be overcome by the smallest of steps taken over and over. Number 31. Employ thy time well if thou meanest to gain leisure. Which is to say, if you want the future benefits of a life well lived, then you must live a life well today and each day. Work now, play later. The opposite never works long term. Number 32. Since thou art not sure of a minute, throw not away an hour. This is important because every moment that we have of every day is important. If you waste the minutes of each day, they will grow into hours, days, months, and years. Number 33. A life of leisure and a life of laziness are 2 things. If you work when you should, then your reward will be time for leisure and you can enjoy it. A lazy person will not have the resources to enjoy any time of leisure. Or Proverbs 20 verse 4 puts it this way, those too lousy to plow in the right season will have no food at harvest. Number 34. Trouble springs from idleness and grievous toil from needless ease. Which is to say, if you are idle when you should be working, then you will have toil and hardship when you should be enjoying a time of rest and relaxation. Number 35. Many without labor would live by their wits only, but they break for want of stock. Now this one's a little hard to read, but it means there are some people who'd prefer not to work, but only think about working. And the only reason they really do any work is because they need some money to live. So learn to enjoy your work, no matter what it is. Number 36. Industry gives comfort and plenty and respect. Fly pleasures and they'll follow you. If we work as we should, and then we will have all that we need. If you take the proper time for pleasure, then it can be properly enjoyed. Number 37. Keep the shop and the shop will keep thee. In other words, taking care of business every day and in every way, and you will be well taken care of in return. Number 38. If you would have your business done, go. If not, send. Which means if you have worked when you should and have accomplished what you should, then at the end of the day, you leave working knowing that all is well with your soul for that day. Otherwise, you will have to continue on working. Number 39. The eye of a master will do more work than both his hands. This is important because when we reach the point of mastery in our particular trade or craft, then you will intuitively know how to accomplish more while doing less. Number 40. Want of care does us more damage than want of knowledge. That is to say, even if you have the knowledge to complete a job or task, if you don't care or are apathetic, then your knowledge is useless. Number 41. Not to oversee workmen is to leave them your purse open. It might be said that you can expect what you inspect. Now, we are not inferring that we don't trust others, but we need to be wise and shrewd in business and in life. Now, personally, I tend to be overly trusting of others, but through the years of experience and some personal losses, I have learned to trust but verify. It is a wise thing to do. Christ put it this way in Matthew 10:16. Look, I am sending you out as sheep among wolves, so be as shrewd as snakes and as harmless as doves. Number 42. In the affairs of this world, men are saved not by faith, but by one of it. While Ben is not referring here to our eternal salvation, our desire to have faith in ourselves and in others is what will drive us on to success. Number 43. Learning is to the studious as riches to the careful. Now, if we want to learn, then we have to invest time into the study of a particular subject before we can expect to get a return on our knowledge. In the same way, in order to gain riches in our lives, we must be cautious that we invest in those areas of commerce that will provide a return. Number 44. He that by the plow would thrive, himself must either hold or drive. That is to say, for success in any area of life, we need to know the proper timing of everything. When plowing with oxen, there is a time to hold the oxen still and a time to drive them through the field. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us, for everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. In a future Wisdom Trek episode, we will study the entire chapter 3 of Ecclesiastes in detail. It is a fascinating chapter. And our final one today is number 45. If you would have a faithful servant and one that you like, serve yourself. Now, this quote can have two meanings. First is, if you want something done in a particular way, you may have to do it yourself. Or second, the best way to show others how to serve is to be an example of a servant leader, one who leads through serving others. Mark 10:45 puts it this way, for even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Well, that'll finish our podcast for today. If you missed any of the previous podcasts, please check out Wisdom-Trek on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or wisdom-trek.com. Tomorrow we will continue our series on this path to true wealth as taught to us by Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States. And we will look at steps 46 through 65 tomorrow. So please check in our camp tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. And if you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, I encourage each of you to help us in the following 4 ways. Number 1, leave us feedback about the podcast on wisdom-trek.com. And at the bottom right-hand corner, if you'd like to be notified of any updates to Wisdom Trek, please fill in your name and email address so we can contact you. Number 2, please subscribe to iTunes or Stitcher so that the podcast will be downloaded to you automatically each day. Number 3, I want to thank anyone who has left us a rating already. I really do appreciate it. But if you have not done so, please leave us a rating on iTunes or Stitcher, and it will allow us to know how we're doing. And then number 4, spread the word to everyone you know to join us on our Wisdom Trek. I thank you for allowing me to serve you today. The journal from this podcast can be found at wisdom-trek.com, where we also have pictures, sayings, wisdom nuggets, and free resources. And as we take this trek together today, let us always remember to live abundantly or fully, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy the journey, and create a great day. See you tomorrow.